Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is really, really good. Busy day today, lots of meetings. So let's get this over with quickly. I had a question yesterday in the comments from West Coast Chris that I thought I would talk about today because I think it's a good thing. And it would have been great to have it yesterday because I could have had like two Chris Tuesday. That'd been funny. Anyway, he asked if I've seen the trailer for the new D&D movie. Have I seen any of the previous D&D movies? What do I think about the trailer, about the D&D movie? All that sort of stuff. Yes, I saw the trailer. We'll come back to that. I have seen... I think I saw the one that came out in like 2000. I think that's accurate. I went with a group of people, and at that time, I was heavily into role-playing, so I'm pretty sure that's the one that I saw. And I thought it was hilariously bad. Like one of those movies that's just so bad that it's funny. And I haven't seen any of the rest. I probably should watch them because they're just terrible, right? They're horrific. The best D&D movie I ever saw was called Mazes and Monsters, and it was a movie from the 80s that's like aided in the satanic panic, D&D panic that a lot of church-going kids suffered because of that movie. But it was a hilariously funny movie. The new trailer looks amazing, and I'm very optimistic for it. For me, I grew up with the gold box D&D games. I played 2nd edition, first of all. I grew up with 2nd edition. Then 3rd edition, I never really graduated until 5th edition. I didn't do 3, 5, and 4. I played 5th edition last year with my kids and with Ignacy. So I grew up with those gold box games and then the Baldur's series. And if you've ever played any of those games, they're very, very funny. They're not even remotely serious. And I hope that comes across. It seemed like there was a lot of humor in this trailer, and I hope that humor from those original D&D properties comes through, because that was my favorite part. Yes, playing an RPG on the computer by myself in my bedroom was great. But I really enjoy the level of humor that was in a lot of those older titles. They were really funny. They had a lot of funny moments. And if you haven't played any of them, maybe give Bard's Quest a chance first. Bard's Quest is not a D&D game, but it plays like a D&D game. Just it's hilarious, and it's really fun. So yeah. So that was so. Have you seen the D&D trailer? Are you excited for it? Do you even care? I think that as a fan of gaming and novels and just fantasy in general, I think I don't think you have to be a D&D player to appreciate the movie, is what I'm trying to get at. I hope not. I hope that's not the case. But I hope that they find ways to give little nods to D&D players in the movie, if that makes any sense. Okay, so moving on from there, we've got questions with Chris, and well, you'll hear. Oh, maybe you'll hear. I don't know. Stop! My phone's being funny.
Hey, friend, how are you? Quick little tangent. I think I came up with a name for the segment. Shallow Thoughts from Chris. So, hey, I was watching your Twitter feed today, and you were talking about trying to pitch games at Gen Con. So how do you do that? Do you just send unsolicited emails to publishers? And then how do you decide which publisher is best for your style of game? Till next time.
See, it would have been great. I could have been like, Shallow Thoughts from Chris. Could have some sort of little music. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, pitching games at Gen Con. Yes, Gen Con is typically the only time of the year that I pitch games live. I don't really do it at any other show. Probably should take my prototypes with me and try and force them down every publisher who will look at them's throat until somebody publishes something. But I do it at Gen Con because I feel like that's when publishers are most receptive. Meaning, earlier in the year, publishers are worried about getting stuff to print that's coming out that year. Games come out at either Gen Con or Essen typically. There are publishers who release throughout the year, but there's this huge crunch leading up to Gen Con. and then it kind of dies off. And then, then we spend the remainder of the year getting ready for the next year's production. So I don't really want to hit them early in the year because they're not really super receptive. That's just my experience. So Gen Con is the time. How do I do it? Yeah, I just cold email people. I just look up publishers that I think would be interested in the titles that I'm showing, and I email them. Lots of them have contact forms on their websites. Lots of them have submission guidelines on their websites. But for the majority of the little guys, the people that I have meetings scheduled with this time, it was just their contact form on their website. That's it. Or Twitter or something. Now, some of the publishers I know. There is one publisher that I will be showing a game to that is just that publisher has been looking for the game for a while, and we're friends. So I just texted them. The second part of your question is probably the most important part of the question, is that how do you figure out which publisher is right for your game? And that's a huge, 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 huge thing that you need to do before you start pitching to publishers. You need to try to figure out who this game is a good fit for. If I'm taking a pitch meeting for Portal Games, I've taken Portal Games pitches for the last 5 or 6 years, and you come to me with a party game about telling, adult humor jokes. You're wasting my time. Why are you in front of me? We're not going to publish that game. It does not fit into our catalog at all. You need to go find a publisher whose catalog can support that title. And this is the tricky part, because if I'm a publisher and I have, let's say I've got a light family game that's themed around pirates, I probably don't want another light family game that's themed around pirates. Doesn't mean I don't want the light family game. Maybe I don't want the theme. Maybe So you kind of have to guess. It's a little bit of guesswork in guessing what the publisher's targeting in their future catalog. Looking at their current catalog will give you a broad concept of what types of games they're looking for, but you don't know what they have coming. So you could do all that research only to find out they already have a pirate-themed dice game coming out and they don't need another one, right? I've had that happen to me. So it's just research, making sure you're not wasting anybody's time. And what I will do is often I will say, I've got these 2 games that I think are good fits for you, and I would like to show them to you. Are you interested in more information? This is how my starter email goes. Hey, publisher, I'm coming to Gen Con. I'm showing off, games this year. I have these 2 that I think are a good fit for your catalog. Are you interested in seeing them? If so, reach out for more information, or let me know if you want a sell sheet or rules or whatever. Sometimes the publisher will say, send me a sell sheet. They'll look at that, and then they'll say, not for me, no thank you. Other times they'll say, just come to my booth, show me what you got, that sort of thing. It goes a whole bunch of different ways. But often, what I will do is I will find that one game that I think is a good fit for their catalog, and I'll figure out a way to mold my email to target them specifically. And then when I show up to their booth, and I have a bag of prototypes, I go, I pull out the prototype I told them I would show them, and then they see that there's other prototypes in my bag. And then, if that goes well, great. If not, I have other things. Are you interested in such, such, such? So I will end the meeting with a simple, hey, I have a couple other things. Not sure if you're interested in this type of game or maybe this type of game. Instead of wasting their time trying to show up and do a pitch, I'll tag that at the end. And if they're interested, I can come back. Or a lot of times I have done pitches, said, I've got something else, can I show you? And they go, yeah, show me. And I pull it out and show them. I've done that many times in the past. That's how the Viking game got taken home by Mayfair. That was a string bet. I have taken a completely different game to show them, and I string bet this one along and said, what do you think about this? And they were like, we want to publish this. So, research. I have at least 3 meetings set up for Gen Con. I would like to have more. I'm taking 4 games, but I'm really only trying to get 3 published. So I'm, beyond this week of trying to send emails and set up meetings, if I can't do that, I'm just going to show up at booths and be like, look, I have prototypes. Are you interested in seeing them? And if they say yes, then I'll show them. If not, I'll move on. I don't know. That's tend to be how I do things. That's how I like it as a publisher scout as well. If you're coming to me to show me a game, don't just start blabbing. Just, I've got this, are you interested? And I can say yes or no pretty quickly. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is motif. It is a noun meaning a dominant or frequently repeated theme, design, image, or idea. The Whittington's china has a diamond-shaped motif that is testament to how the family made its fortune. Motif. M-O-T-I-F. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a pretty common word.